everybody, welcome to Boss Rush Podcast. I am your host, Eddie V. Joining me as always is the delightful Corey Derrick, our boss man.
Hello.
And of course, the wise Wisconsin knight, Mr. Jesse Douglas.
How's it going, everyone?
Hi everybody. How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
It's been a long week.
A week of meetings and work.
Yeah. I mean,
we're gonna touch on it. We're gonna get to that.
it's been fun. Is that the word? Is that still a word we use around here?
I know we've been playing some games. Some games got beaten, and
who's playing games? Is that what we're supposed to do on the show? Play games?
Of course. But before we jump into some things that we're going to be talking about, let's get to some housekeeping. You can follow us on Twitter at Boss Rush Games and on Facebook and Instagram at Boss Rush Games. Join our Discord, Xbox console community, and our Destiny clan. Also, live shows have returned when we are able to have them. You can join us live on Mixer and Twitch at Boss Rush Games Live, all one word, to chat with us live on air. You can also find all of our content at bossrushgames.com. And everybody, please visit bossrushgames.com and see the new layout. Corey has been working hard tremendously. Like, he has put in the work. Amazing thumbnails, great clean design, just completely it's just so beautiful. You guys really have to check it out. You guys, Pod and Play revamp, our seasonal Let's Show Play is coming to a close. You guys can go to bossrushgames.com and watch the season featuring games like Devil May Cry 5, Resident Evil 2 Remake, Spec Ops: The Line, Monster Hunter, and more. Tweet us what games you want to see in the upcoming seasons. Lastly, Arsenal X is here, everybody. It's great that you guys are checking in and watching the show. You could join us on Sunday Night Arsenal for the pre-show, the live podcast recording, and some multiplayer Xbox fun on Mixer and Twitch. We were able to get to it. Also remember to check out our family of shows, podcasts, and videos on youtube.com/BossRushGames, podcast services, and of course on BossRushGames.com. So, before we get on, I'm going to hand it over to you, boss, because this section it's a lot, but we are bringing some great things to Boss Rush Games. So, I placed it in your hands.
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah. I mean, we had, like Ed said, we had a lot of morning meetings this week. Every morning this week, Ed and I talked, and Jesse joined us on Monday for Arsenal X type stuff, and you know, we're I don't want to say we're starting a bunch of new things, but we're kind of getting back on track to how we were doing content beforehand. You know, Ed and I just recorded a few retro game show last night, trying to finish up Super Metroid, and we had a lot of great conversations then. Pod and Play, you know, has been missing the last couple weeks, but we finally got the last 3 episodes edited and uploaded, so they'll be coming out within the coming weeks. And then this next season starts in September. Indie Masterclass, we're bringing back. Ed and I discussed the indie games that we're going to kind of showcase this summer. It's our summer seasonal indie. Like, we kind of... The best indie games that have come out over the last year or so, we kind of showcase in our summer indie show. So that's kind of what we were talking about. And then Jesse, you and I talked about doing a Game Pass show where we kind of highlight some games that are on Game Pass and play them and talk about them, which we'll probably start doing after Arsenal X on Sundays. So yeah, I'm really excited for what we're doing. You know, Ed and I have discussed kind of changing some stuff up for a Nintendo Power Block, and then obviously if you're watching live or on YouTube, you see our new background, our new kind of, you know, framing that we're using for the show. So it's been a lot of work this week. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was gonna take like 1 or 2 days, and it's not done yet. And I started last Sunday, so it needed to be done. I haven't worked this week because of the corona crap that's going on, and I thought it's something that I think we needed to do, or I mean, in my mind, that we needed to do. And I thought, well, if I'm not working this week, this is going to be the work I get this all done, and it's almost done. So I'm really happy. I'm really proud of the work that everybody's doing, and the stuff that we're kind of coming up with. The one thing that's really exciting, to me at least, and I think we all kind of agree, is the book club that we've all been discussing for a while now, and I think we're going to start book club. Do we want to announce that we're starting it in May this week?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I wasn't sure if we were going to announce it this week or next week, but so basically what book club is we're just going to play a game for the month, and then at the last week of every month, we're going to record a separate podcast about it, and then let you know what the next month's game is. So it's pretty simple. It's basically, if you guys watch MinMax or Game Informer, it's pretty much their version of book club, or the Deepest Dive, where we play through the game and have a really good deep discussion on it. Kind of like what we're doing for like TV and movies and stuff for Standard Definition, which is also coming back. So yeah, I'm really excited for book club. Our first game is Control, the 2019 Game of the Year contender from Remedy, and I'm really excited to play it. I played the first couple hours, and then I kind of fell off of it because Star Wars ended up coming out, and I ended up really sinking a lot of time into that. So but yeah, if you want to join us on book club, we're going to have a community stuff in our Discord and on our Facebook group, and obviously you can tweet at us if you're not in either of those, but just weekly check-ins on Mondays. You can tweet at us or let us know where you are. Try to be friendly about spoilers and stuff. I know there are trolls out there, and you can't avoid them all, but if you're going to participate, just be mindful of everybody else who's playing it. And at the end of the month, we're going to have a book club podcast on it. So very, very excited for book club, for sure.
It's so weird because I just finished the game and I'm still doing side quests, but I think I'm probably gonna play it. I think I'm gonna visit it and probably play it on easy, just so I could like collect stuff for achievements or something. Because I'm just like, I just beat this game and I gotta replay it again for a month and stuff. And I know there's a lot of things in that game, collectibles that bring out a broader story to it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and each month we're just going to pick a different game. This is Jesse's game. Jesse picked Control a while ago when we first started. We just kind of wrote it down, even though we didn't really confirm with Jesse if that's the game he really wanted to do. But we just kind of went with it. So
I was just like, yeah, because you're like, do you still want to do Control as our first game for him? Like, yeah, sure. It's a great game. I mean.
Yeah, and just to let everybody know that if this is your first time playing Control and you beat it, this is part of the backlog challenge also. So make sure that you get your points for it.
And again, we're gonna have a new section on the show called Bookmark, and that's just take 5 minutes to kind of talk about where we're at. Not really spoil anything, or just have like a little mini discussion about how far we are and where we're at and how things are going in our playthrough. So and obviously community, Facebook and Discord, you can check in there, and then on Twitter you can tweet at us about your bookmarks, and you just look for the social media posts. We'll have a Monday morning bookmark post, so you'll be able to tell us. Yeah.
Yes.
And I think I know what my other game that I want to do is, because it's something I'd like to revisit again and go through the story again of.
What is it?
Huh?
What is it?
I kind of want to do Rhyme.
Oh.
Because it's that's still one of my favorite games probably of all time, just like from music to the just everything. And I'd like to revisit that game again.
That soundtrack is breathtaking. It's crazy on how good it is.
Yeah, I listen to it on Spotify like a lot, like by a standalone.
I could just tell you now, Jesse, I'm not ready for the ending. Like the last section when it's with that piano score. I followed the composer of it, and I literally outright told him, I literally outright, because he's done some other work that came out recently.
Yeah, he did stuff for Hellblade, he did stuff for Bloodborne, he did stuff for I think he did stuff for Bleeding Edge as well. Like because he's very versatile. He can do a lot of different styles of stuff, and
I mean, clearly those are all very different games.
Yeah.
His that ending section with that piano, I literally put my controller down. It was just like, I can't move. I have to hear. Do I need to buy this on Xbox? Because I have it on PS4 and I want to hear it on my Turtle Beach headset. I really do.
Yeah.
Because is
a great definitely choice. That's definitely a game you're gonna want to play with headphones.
Yes.
Too, by the way. I mean, I'm sure it would sound fine on like if you got like surround sound and stuff like that, it would sound really good too. But if you don't, then you definitely want to do headphones.
Yeah, but I have it on PS4, and I'm just like, should I double dip?
Yeah, I'm really excited for book club. Because I think like this is going to motivate me to actually play my backlog. Like I mean, I started out the year. I mean, we started out the year strong. I did at least, with Hellblade and 100%ing Hellblade, and Jesse and I beat Gears 5, and then I kind of fell off of stuff. I went through a phase where I just wasn't wanting to play games, and then I I thought I was like, I thought I was gonna be. I've been playing The Witcher, which is a really, really long game, and I've been playing, Animal Crossing, which is another really, really long game, and it's just kind of like I haven't really been focused on games that have like a definitive end in sight, and then this week I thought, okay, I'm gonna play a lot of games this week because I'm off. I can stay up a little bit later. And then I went through the maybe I should fix the website thing, and then that took up all my time. And I'm just I'm a terrible gamer. Can we just face the facts that I'm a terrible gamer right now?
Well, well, that's the thing though, is and that's kind of what happened with me. Is like I like rushed through a whole bunch of games like right off the bat, but then I kind of wanted to go back to being able to play stuff that I'm playing for myself and not just to finish, and that's the thing, is you do have to keep a good balance of the two, because otherwise, you can get burnt out, because I was kind of burnt out there for a little while too. And now I'm finally like starting to get to the point of where I'm like, okay, well, what are some games that I both need to finish, but I also am actually looking forward to playing. So like I just recently, I'll talk about it more later, but
we're going to get to the game and get down, because trust me, we have a lot to get down.
Yeah, I just I'm really excited for book club. I'm really excited to get do these kind of a newer version of Indie Masterclass. I mean, we did an indie showcase for Power Black Channel for a long time, but I think it's exciting to get back into that world. Ed pointed out some games that I had no idea even really existed, and I dabbled in them last night after we recorded stuff, and it just kind of like, wow, I didn't know these were out there. And they're bigger games, I guess, like Giga Alt Wrecker and Blazing Chrome, and a couple other titles that were just kind of like, wow. I just I'm not like a huge indie guy, but when the one hits, one's very exciting. So I don't know, I'm really excited. I'm really excited for that. I'm really excited for Jesse, I didn't really mention this to you yet, but how Ed and I are doing the direct recap show for PAL Block. I kind of want to do inside Xbox version of that.
Okay, yeah,
So-
for their little shows and stuff to kind of
Yeah,
go over those.
yeah.
Jesse, I don't know if you caught this or did you check this out. I guess they could do a This Week on Xbox every Friday, or they do something like that.
Yeah, they do something on every Friday. They kind of go over like what games are gonna be on Game Pass, or like things like that. I feel like a lot of the time it's information that you can basically find out just by logging into your Xbox a lot of times.
Is it a weekly thing?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I believe it's every Friday.
Yeah,
so.
and you can actually go to the go under Game Pass and it'll actually have it there. And like there's like a small video that you can watch now too.
Yeah.
And then every week on Xbox they post on their YouTube channel now. This week on Game Pass, which is really cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
I've watched it a couple of times, but it's been like that for a little while now.
Yeah, it came up on my my homepage. Like they had a box for it, and I just realized it. I didn't know that they were doing it. Like it was something that I maybe not paid attention, or it maybe was just not shown on my Xbox. It was very weird, but I did enjoy what they were showing. I'm just like, this is kind of cool.
I feel like the thing with the Xbox part, like, because you probably have the newer update now where your main screen, like home and all that, changed now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. See, because like on the old version that you guys were running, I feel like that stuff wasn't really on there a whole lot. But yeah, they've tried to change things and kind of bring that stuff more to the front, and to help people kind of, you can start the second you log on, you can watch that video, see what's new, and then if something interests you, boom, you can go into the store and buy it, or go to Game Pass and download it or whatever. So they've definitely been doing a really good job of trying to have more content, and like try to get more stuff out to the people and inform people a little bit, because they don't have a whole lot going on, because you're kind of in the holding pattern for the E3 type announcements and things like that, but they're still trying to put in an effort to try to get some communication to fans about things. So I think they're doing a good job of that.
Yeah.
Major Nelson's cool too. So
yeah, I was listening to the voice. I'm just like, oh, that's Major Nelson doing the voice. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, like he does that. Yeah, he does that every week. He does a little breakdown. It's like a couple of minutes long or whatever, where he just kind of goes over everything.
Major Nelson in the booth, dropping the commercials info. But we're gonna move on, everybody. We're gonna get into these news bits before we get down to some good gaming. Because, guys, there was a lot that like got announced, that came, that got dropped, that got celebrated. But even though we're hyped and we're love games and what's coming for the future, sadly we had to start the show off with a downer. Gamescom 2020 affected by German events banned due to COVID-19 pandemic. So the organizers of Gamescom, the world's largest gaming event, have announced that Gamescom 2020 will take place digitally as a result of the ongoing COVID-19 global pandemic. The news comes from the German government extending its ban on major events and large gatherings until August 31st. As a result of this, Gamescom which is scheduled to take place from August 25th to the 29th in Cologne, Germany, is affected. The official Gamescom Twitter account addressed the news, confirming that it is currently planning a digital version of the event. And they did tweet it out for it. So, it is sad to see that it's happening. That the event of people gathering is canceled, but the digital of showing things, and we'll probably be able to see games and stuff, and more press conference at least that part is still happening and stuff. But do you think that E3 may follow with the same thing this year, that it will have a digital presence where people are just showing stuff?
Well, didn't E3 already confirm they aren't doing anything this year? They're just holding out for next year now.
Yeah, I think they pretty much did because everyone's basically just doing their own thing now.
Yeah,
that wants to anyway.
Well, I know like IGN is kind of doing their thing. It's kind of like their replacement E3 type thing. So I mean I don't know how big it's going to be, obviously, but it seems like everybody's looking at them kind of, this is the deal.
Do you think that this is time now for, even with Gamescom happen, this digital event, did you think that demos will like playable demos will benefit during this downtime? Like to give more idea?
Well, actually, I don't know if you read this, Ed, but Jeff Keighley is helping bring a bunch of demos that were going to be at E3 after their whatever event they're going to be announced at. They're going to be available on demos on Steam as of the announcement. So I mean, I know that doesn't really affect console gamers, but anybody who wants to try them out on Steam, at least, you're going to be able to download some demos and play them, which is really cool. So yeah, I mean, I think we're already seeing that trickle, and because Nintendo used to do the demo stuff at Best Buy.
Yes.
Xbox sometimes releases some indie demos, or what I mean, like that kind of stuff. So I think you're going to see a lot more of that, and I think you're going to start seeing demos, at least of indie games or smaller games.
Yeah, because Microsoft could really knock it out with a Halo Infinite demo, even just maybe.
Well, I don't think we're going to get that, but I mean, I think we're going to
demo
they
as
could put
in
stuff
we
in
could
early access.
Well, yeah, I mean maybe like the first level or intro level of Halo Infinite, and then multiplayer, one kind
a
of
multiplayer beta. I think that would be huge for Halo this year. Would be like if you announce it and show it off and say you can be in the how the Gears beta was for Game Pass subscribers, right? Game Pass subscribers get a week early to the Halo Infinite multiplayer beta and the first level demo, like you said. I mean, this, as soon as I said I don't think we're going to get that, I started thinking of the Destiny beta and how you got the whole kind of first level of Destiny 2, and then you got to play some multiplayer stuff and kind of go into that first area, right? That's what I'm kind of thinking of.
That's a perfect example.
So especially if that's kind of where they're kind of aiming Halo at, not necessarily, obviously not a game like Destiny, but they're going to try to make it their game as a service style thing, right? And
yes,
yeah, I think that that's definitely what needs to happen, is because normally they would have all those people getting to test the games and kind of give feedback there, but they need to open it up, I think, a little bit more than just PC, because
it would be great, Jesse, to have that for the whole summer. So let's say it drops in June, it is in August. You have 3 whole months to really dive in. They could update the beta if they want to, and people will be like, "This is keeping me company." Or
the summer of games.
Well,
in a sense, yeah.
Plus, what they could do,
they
could use that live feedback to adjust, the multiplayer on the fly, and that would help with their QA stuff. Because that's one thing a lot of companies are going to start struggling with is QA, because you can't physically take dev units home or builds home, right? So their QA units are going to be they could use us as a live QA thing and call it a beta, right? With their at least with the multiplayer side of things, and do what game did this recently?
David X Machina is a
Where
good example.
no, I'm talking about a shooter. I'm talking about a
a
shooter.
shooter.
Where
I was just talking about for the demo and the QA
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
with the
no.
surveys with the server thing.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you could keep the Halo demo, like the multiplayer beta, live for a month, and you could get player feedback. You know, even after every after every 2 or 3 matches, you can press, you can press the select button to take a survey if they offer it to you, right? And you could do a survey after every few matches, and see where that kind of. And I know that opens up to a lot of trolls and everything, but like, there's some value to that, I think.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that's why, like, a game like Baldur's Gate 3 is going into early access, right? Because they want that player feedback, and I think if these companies are smart, like Xbox and EA and Activision on their next games, like having a longer running beta, months before the game comes out, is actually going to benefit them in the long run.
And connected to the Microsoft points, like how they do the weekly points thing. Like, I think a lot of people will be like, "Oh, I didn't know this was here. Let me try the beta," and I think that would get more people in order to try it and stuff. And you get your points. You'd be like, "Oh, I didn't know the system was here." You give your feedback. Maybe you get more points that way.
Yeah. See, that's what they could do. They could do a punch card. They do the punch card thing, and it could be like, the first one is to activate the punch card. The second one is to download the beta. The third one is to play it, and then the fourth one, to finish it, you'd have to leave a comment or like rate it, take a little survey about it or something like that. And then if you finish all those things, you get like 3,000 points or something.
Yeah, because I'm just like, even though, yes, that's very beneficial for Microsoft, Nintendo could still do it, like how they did Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, where they give you a little demo, and whether you like it or not, you can make it known. And I think they will also give content creators something to record and give their opinion on, and show it, and stream it, and do some stuff with it. Because I'm just like, without having the big thing of E3, it's kind of hard. It's going to be hard for content creators to bring what they normally bring during E3 season. So I mean, and make it worldwide, like even PlayStation and stuff. This is the time, definitely with Stadia, to get it out there.
Well, Stadia Pro is free for 2 months right now, Ed. With all those free games.
Yeah.
If you can't download Destiny for free on any of the other consoles you have, you can definitely play it on Stadia for free.
And we're gonna leave that one right there.
I'm sorry. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
Well, we're gonna move on. Crysis Remaster hitting console and PC this summer. Or to let everybody know, all of these news stories is coming from Game Informer, so do go check them out and support those guys. After going radio silent for nearly 3.5 years, the Crysis Twitter account began teasing something earlier this week. After a couple of cryptic tweets, it was finally revealed that it was teasing Crysis Remaster. The updated version of the beloved 2007 shooter is slated to come to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. This new version of Crysis focuses on the original single-player campaign and will feature high-resolution textures, improved art assets, an HD texture patch, temporal anti-aliasing, new light settings, motion blur, new particle effects, and more. According to Crytek, the result will be a major visual upgrade. Crysis Remaster is set to release this summer, and then they actually have a trailer out that you guys can see. I know a lot of people's questions been on how it's going to run on Switch.
I think a lot of people are asking how it's going to run regardless, because I mean, that was always the question, was can this machine run Crysis? That, like, what, 10, 15 years ago at this point? Like, oh boy, that's going to be I don't know, man. We talked a lot about it on Pow Block last night, and I'm going to play it there because that's my duty as a Nintendo podcast host to do that. But we're gonna see if it's worth it or not. I liked Crysis 2 a lot. when I played it on Xbox 360. But there's so many modern advancements in games at this point that like, is Crysis going to be worth picking up? Are they doing the right things to change it? You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Jesse, what's your thoughts on it?
He's muted. I think he's muted.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was a little distracted.
That's okay.
Trying to. Oh, what was the?
We're talking about
question?
Crysis remaster.
Oh yeah, yes. So I'm kind of excited for it. I'm a little impressed at. Well, I don't know. I guess until we really see it in depth, I'm kind of curious what it's gonna look like on Switch. Just because I did, just seeing that like, because I didn't know that it was coming to Switch until just recently.
Well, it was. I didn't know if EA was publishing or not, because EA published Crysis 2 and 3.
Yeah.
I think they published the first one. I'm not sure. Corey, did we check
They did. They published all three of them back then. But with everybody going the self-publishing route a lot and stuff like that, like I don't like, it was still a little fuzzy to us last night on like how, like, what does that deal still mean? Is that deal still in place? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I really don't know.
If they could get it running on Switch, I think this will put Crytek in a good financial place. I mean, you know what I mean?
Honestly, I think this is a game people are going to skip on Switch. Like, I personally think that because they want like, Crysis was the pinnacle of technical powerhouse, and I think people want to see how it holds up on modern consoles. Yeah. It's not like a game like The Witcher that you don't like. You know what I mean?
But at the same time, I mean, if like let's say you do have a Switch though, and like you don't really have like an Xbox or something, like it still will be nice for those people to have it. And and if it looks good, like in my opinion, this will be the first like real like legitimate like online or type of like shooter that that's like at a Halo, like in my opinion, I put up like with Halos and stuff like that as far as how important they are, so right. I mean, I think that if there was a shooter that people were gonna buy on Switch, I think this type of shooter, that this would be the one that would probably do the best.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. Like, sorry, Ed, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh, because definitely with like the Borderlands collection coming out in May, with Doom Eternal, we're waiting for that on Switch, and how well Doom and Wolfenstein did on Switch. This Crysis remaster is kind of a very big deal. It's gonna sound weird saying this, but it'll probably be like the Call of Duty of shooters for Switch for some people. And if they could get it, because what it sounds like is that PC is going to be the priority that people are going to be looking at, and then consoles are going to be comparable. And I think like Digital Foundry would be like, this is the stuff to break down for it running on Switch as a separate video. So, I
think the thing with console is really ultimately people like, this will be something nice to have for once the Series X and the PS5 come out, when those like HDR and all those like other like up-resed things, all those other enhancements and like ray tracing and all that stuff eventually on console, then that will be the time when it will really be most important, I think, to have that game on consoles.
Like to revisit and stuff.
So yeah, so I think we could see a good chunk of people buying this game, but I don't think it's going to really have a lot of people buying it until the newer consoles come out, to be honest.
I think some people will probably buy this and revisit this game because of the problems it had when it first came out.
I mean, I'm like I said, I'm gonna buy it because
yes, me too.
For all the reasons Jesse just said, there's no shooters on Switch that are no recent ones. I know Doom and Wolfenstein exist and Doom Eternal's coming. There are first person shooters on Switch, but nothing in the vein of Halo or Call of Duty, right? And
yes.
Like Jesse said, this could be the Switch's Halo, because I remember playing a lot of Crysis 2 and really enjoying it, but that was also in 2011, on 360. Yeah. And even games like Halo and stuff have evolved a lot since 2011. I know we played, even the other night when we were playing Halo Reach, even you could feel the age, and that was only 8 years ago. So
yes,
yeah.
I mean, if they make the right choices with this remaster, I think Crysis could come back in a big way, and you could see the other two games eventually come as ported to all the other consoles as well.
And if the price is right, definitely for a
yeah,
Switch might be a little, like 10 more bucks. It may be 40. But if everything comes out at $30 for this, I would get it for Xbox One and Switch.
I would say 40 would probably be the proper, especially because they say they're focusing on the single player campaigns for Crysis. I think there's 3 campaigns for it. There's the main campaign and then the 2 DLC campaigns. I think
I've never played any of them.
It doesn't. I mean, honestly, it doesn't sound like there's going to be multiplayer, at least at launch. So maybe $40 is a good price point for this.
And then just update it with multiplayer.
Yeah,
at a
because
later date.
The Switch version is gonna be if you want the physical, it's literally just gonna be how Wolfenstein Youngblood was, or Overwatch, where it's literally just a box with a piece of paper in it.
Well, yeah, we shall see. I'm excited. I've never got to play it. So
I'm not trying to downplay the Switch version at all. I'm excited to play it. I hope I didn't really come off that way, but I just think that, man, now I'm really my thoughts are confused. I agree with Jesse, but I do too. But I also, I think people want to see Crysis, and maybe that's the thing. Maybe this game does really well on PC and Switch. Maybe the PC crowd gets their super ray tracing and super graphical powerhouse game, and then the Switch version is the one that people buy on console because they have enough shooters on console. I don't know.
Well, and I could see this being a game that eventually comes to Game Pass as well.
Yeah.
So I think if people are going to play it on console, like I said, I still think it's going to be later, but there are going to be a lot of people.
What's crazy, Jesse? I could see this coming to Game Pass in November of this year. Yeah. Because as long as EA's not attached to it, I think, because I'm just you got Thanksgiving. And so you got some family time to spend, and that would just be a great time for it to be done. So we're going to move on to the last story. There was a report that Sony is going to limit their initial PlayStation 5 supply. I put in the notes, PlayStation 5 limited supply. Bloomberg is reporting that Sony would limit the initial supply of this holiday PlayStation 5 home console to 5 to 6 million units in the period ending in March 2021. A comparison, the PlayStation 4 sold 7.5 million units in its first 2 months. Bloomberg was told that the constraint is due in part by the expected price of the system, which developers have estimated at between $499 and $549. This price is due to the high-end components used by the system, which could also have scarcity issues, according to the website. Of course, Sony has not commented on the matter. The article also says that, according to sources, the price of the PlayStation 4 and PS4 Pro could be reduced around the launch of the PlayStation 5 to stimulate recurring revenue via PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now memberships. So, before we get into this discussion, let's not mention Microsoft for Series X and not Nintendo. Let's keep it straight. Sony.
Yeah, Ed, don't mention Nintendo in this conversation.
I will do my best. I don't think this is a bad idea or a bad thing for a PlayStation 5 if they come out with 5 to 6 million. I think that in order for them to sell like a full stock of that, it's definitely going to be on their launch library.
Well, it looks good too. Like if you sell through, if you sell through your allotment, your original allotment of stuff, right? Like it looks good. So, if you sell through 7 million units and you only made 7 million units, like that's a great look for their stock, for their investors.
Yes. So and I know there's going to be some people who are going to try to sell it online for people who really want it at a higher price. They kind of did that, I think, with the PlayStation 3 in a weird way. But Jesse, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen, other consoles do where there's not a lot out there and they supply their own demand. They can, all it's going to do is if people really want it badly enough, then if they don't get it in the first waves of consoles coming out, that's only going to make them want it more and more and more. And, and then just like, we've seen in the past, I think it's going to be, not that long after that they'll start to get more consoles out there. Sure, it might be a couple of months or so, but because like with at least how things are going with all this whole coronavirus thing in China and stuff, like they're kind of on the end of it more than they are, closer to the beginning or middle like we are.
Yes.
So they've kind of already are starting to roll working, in factories and stuff back out and are starting to try to get now that, they may be behind though. And that's why I say it will probably be, a couple of months after the initial release that we see more available. Just because there's still all those things that they were supposed to be making during this time that they haven't been, that they got to catch back up on.
Yes.
So yeah, I think it'll be a while, but the thing is too to remember is there will be people that are going to probably buy both consoles day one if they can, but I still think that a lot of people are going to just get the console that they want.
Oh yeah, okay.
What?
I'm just making sure that you don't say don't say that. Okay.
No, I just think that people will buy the console that they want, and in the end, it will be just like any things that we've already experienced. I really don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. Yeah, there will be some people that weren't able to get the console day one, but
yeah,
it's. The thing to remember though too is there's still a lot of people who don't have jobs who probably shouldn't be buying it yet at that point anyways, possibly. I mean it just like I think there's it's gonna kind of offset things. There's gonna be people that probably won't get it until later just because they don't feel like that's probably something that they should be
a priority.
Yeah, a priority, in this time. So I don't know,
and plus I feel like if people do decide to get it or wait for it, the library is probably going to get better and better. More games are going to be coming out. More indies and stuff will probably be there. So I mean, I don't think it's going to. for a lot of us, it may not be a rush to go get it. And there's going to be some must-haves, but that stuff could come along within time.
Yeah,
So.
especially for. Or sorry, Jesse, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no! I said go ahead, Corey.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, especially since, if Switch has a pretty strong library, and the fact that a lot of Xbox's first party titles at least are going to be cross generation, and we'll be able to play those games on Xbox One through Game Pass and stuff. There's a couple games that I'm looking forward to, like the new Assassin's Creed. I will definitely be picking up. But if you can, like, there's still ways to play those games, assuming that PlayStation takes the same route that Xbox does and backwards compatible, and the games will look better on PlayStation 5, but you'll still be able to play them on PlayStation 4 at least the first couple months. I know PlayStation came out and said they weren't doing that, but I think with the delay of The Last of Us and probably Ghost of Tsushima, and assuming that they're going to get texture packs for PlayStation 5, like, I think that's the route they're going to have to take to at least make this work and sell the amount of games that they want to sell for those right now. I'll be able to play Halo Infinite on my Xbox One or a PC, or, and I'll be able to play Assassin's Creed, just assuming on my Xbox One X, hopefully. That I think they confirmed that it's they didn't confirm the game is coming, but they confirmed that a lot of their games are going to be cross-platform for a while, and so I don't know. There's going to be ways to play your games if you like, because we're all in this weird spot where we don't know if we're going to be in the same position we are now in a month, 6 months, a year. It's crazy. So if you can't afford a console, there's still going to be ways to play those games. On what you have now.
Exactly, and that kind of goes into like what I was saying, where there's a lot of ways to still play games with what you have now when those consoles come out. So if you don't get one day one, it's not really going to be that big of a deal until maybe like 8 months from then, or whatever, when the newer games that might possibly only run on that console come out.
Such good, Sony, if that happens. So that is our news bits. We're going to get to some gaming get downs because we have played a lot this week. I'm actually going to start because I played Good Job. I ended up picking that up. And I have not laughed so hard in a long time. The game is wacky and it's so good and polished and everything. This is a game published by Nintendo, and it's from an indie developer, which I would love to see more from that. Like Nintendo actually publishing some indie games. Like, of course, Microsoft's.
They have been, right? It started with Snipper Clips, and then there was a game that came out that like the crap, what is it? It's like what is it? You're carrying around a stretcher or whatever. Like, I think Nintendo published that.
Oh yeah.
Didn't they publish Lightfall?
No.
Because it's only on Switch, isn't it?
Yeah, it's still only on. Well, it's on Steam also, but.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, it may be a time exclusive for it.
3 years is a long time. Did not put it. I met that guy though, that developer.
Yeah.
He's like, when I went to PAX and I played it for the first time, it was really cool.
Yeah.
I just re-downloaded that game because I was looking at the games I had on Switch and I was like, oh, I need to finish Lightfall. I need to play it.
Same here. I keep that one the controls at one point. I just it's getting sweaty. I gotta quit.
It's getting
sweaty. It definitely has parts that really push you to that point of like wanting to throw your controller.
Well, it didn't
just because
it didn't want me to throw the controller. It was just making my hands sweaty. So
yeah.
The controller.
Yeah.
But Lightfall is such a great game. Everybody, do check it out. But yeah, good. Yeah, I've been loving Good Job. I'm now like on the I'm on the second floor, but I'm like on the third mission before I get to the last one to unlock it. And man, it's such a fun, relaxing, comedic game. I been playing Breath of the Wild on Switch, and I beat the first champion, which is the elephant. I got that power. Like if I die, I could come back with full health and more hearts. And I've just been exploring the world, finding more shrines, and man, it looks good on my TV, but I gotta try to. It's a personal thing for me. I gotta try to balance the lighting on it because when it's bright, dude, it's bright. But it's like
HDR.
Yeah, like it's very shiny and it looks so good. Even though it don't really support HDR, it still looks good. Which Jesse, I was telling Corey that I actually got the HDR 10 to work on my Xbox. For it because it recognized the 4K UHD and it was only doing a partial of it, but I went on YouTube and found a video to see how it actually kicked in, so I just had to cut one thing off and cut it back on, and then my Xbox recognized it and it was just like bam.
With all that kind of stuff, there's certain things that get a little weird and finicky, and you got to try to figure out what you got to do to get it to work. Yeah, because I had some issues with mine too, where it wasn't recognizing my Xbox in 4K, and it wasn't wanting to switch to 4K, or wasn't wanting to let my Xbox switch to 4K because it wasn't recognizing a 4K console or screen being plugged into it. So I had to just go online and try to figure out what I needed to do, and then I finally did, and then it finally got it to work.
Recognize. Yeah, because I when I got it, I started playing a little bit of Gears 5 for it. But I'll get into that later. But yeah, Breath of the Wild, I told the guys that I was going to play this game to completion, and I've been loving it. I've actually been going to parts of the world that I didn't even know that it was there. So I'm still finding shrines. I'm still I just beat these big 3 golems. They have these balls that you got to pick up and bring back. And once you bring all 3 of them, the shrine comes up and you go in. I never took notice of that. I've never fought them. And I was looking for this. Is just like, I think because I'm playing it on Wii U, I could make progress a little bit more easier because I now know what to do. Yeah. And it was just like, man, that game still feels new and fresh to me. Yeah. And it's literally insane.
I was just gonna say, like, I just really hope that they keep it, because I know a lot of people were kind of disappointed with like how it kind of the final boss is, kind of after you finish everything, is pretty easy.
Yes.
And for the most part, and like it just feels like you can go to the final boss way too quick, and like and all that, but like that's the thing, is like that game ultimately really what it's meant to be, how it's meant to be played, is to literally just explore every single bit of that map. Like that, to me, that's what that game is. It's all about the exploring the entire map and seeing what kind of secrets you can find and all that. Like, honestly, we used to joke about how Corey had gotten like all the Korok seeds and stuff like that. But honestly, like like I personally think that's probably was the best way to play it, is being able to like literally just go everywhere and see everything. Like, I think the reason those Korok seeds are so scattered all over the place is because they want you to explore every bit of that world. Like that's what's important in that game, not the final boss. And the finding the memories and things like that are where the actual story really is. So I just hope they continue that in the next one.
If you find those stories and you watch them in order, it's really fun to see the story unfold, like in the memories. But like, I really enjoyed watching them all in order because it really told a better story when you find them all, and like it just I don't know. I was telling Ed last night that at some point, probably before the sequel comes out, if we ever get a release date for it, I'll probably go back and play through it, just to experience it again, because that was such an amazing game. And playing through it, knowing what I know now about, the crafting the armor and collecting stuff, and not selling everything right away to get rupees and that kind of thing. Like, I would totally just play that game so different. But I mean, that was also part of the fun, was like learning how to play the game.
So I've been doing that on Switch for PlayStation 4. I got rid of some games that I wasn't playing, but I downloaded Journey. I downloaded the Grand Theft Auto trilogy, and I was playing that at another time while I did that.
Journey to a Savage Planet, or
Journey, regular Journey.
On PlayStation.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
The 3-hour running walking simulator game that everybody went cuckoo crazy for. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
I think Ed feels the same way, but I think Journey's like really kind of, not that it's not a good game or anything, but I think it's kind of overrated. I think Rhyme does a better job of telling the story, telling the story that Journey does. I have Firewatch that I haven't played yet, but I know a lot of people liked that game.
Yeah.
Firewatch that's probably kind of similar to that as well, but different.
But also like I did play Journey like well after the fact that every indie game became that game at some point, and did it better. It's kind of like it's like what Ed and I were talking on the retro game show, like how much does nostalgia and a time and place factor into like how people feel about games. I think that Journey really hits that for me, where it's like it was a time and place game that I just didn't play and at the right time, and I just didn't really get anything out of it.
Yeah. Well, and it's kind of like Lightfall 2, like came out, and Celeste, and a bunch of games like that kind of came out around that same time, and it kind of got overlooked,
Yes. So, for Xbox One, I've been playing Gears 5 with my friend Joey from the Skyward Cast. We've been having fun. We play Tomb Raider and the Lost Oasis or something like that.
The twin stick co-op shooter.
Yeah.
The Temple of Osiris. I don't know.
Temple of Osiris. You're right.
It's something like that.
Yeah, we enjoyed it. For some reason, my Xbox One or something happened, and it kicked off Gears 5. Like, it wasn't even recognized it, so it had to re-download it. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? So we started to play that, and then it said ready to start, but I couldn't do the multiplayer because that was downloaded, and that affected the campaign. I was just like, oh, okay. So we went back to playing Tomb Raider. We really enjoyed it. I've been having fun with that. I installed Gears 4. Maybe I'll play that a little bit. Play some more Ori the Blind Forest. Got my tail kicked in Control at the jukebox.
That's hard.
Yeah, because I'm at the first expedition where you got to do the 4 tower things, and you got to try to. I got my tail kicked many a times, even though you got like 30 minutes. I'll have to unlock the kind of like stay in the place and unlock stuff. I forgot it's a multiplayer mode in games. I cannot think of it. I gotta try to get another token, put that in, and do that. Because I want to try to be all 3 before I continue more to do the side missions and Control. But other than that, did already the Will of the Wisp. I'm at the I'm 3/4 done with the game, but there's some more side stuff and things to unlock in there. I know there's the achievement system. Shout out to my friend Christopher. He actually got it because you have to play it on hard and you have to play the whole game without dying at all. So it's just like, have you experienced these chase sequences? They're not easy, even with a controller that works. I'm just like, and plus it's too long. I'm like, no, like if you die once, you have to restart the whole game over. I'm like, that's a sin, and that's not going to happen.
Well, but I think that's just telling you need to get good.
We'll talk after the show. But
Ed's a little rusty after he turned 40.
No, yeah, a little bit. I've been doing my best not to touch The Witcher 3, Corey. Trust me, I have done my best. And I got excited when I seen you, Jesse, playing Call of Duty World War II. I was just like, finish the campaign, and then I'll jump into the game. Because I'm supposed to be jumping into Persona 5 Royal when another person starts playing it.
Yeah.
But then I have to wait. I'm just like, I got too many games that I want to play with other people while they finish it or they're playing it at the same time. Like, there's a lot I want to play. But that's pretty much what I've been getting down to. So I'm heading over to you, Jesse. Where have you been getting down to?
Yeah, so I started Call of Duty World War II's campaign, and like it brings me right back to like that amazing feeling of like when we played Medal of Honor, that Medal of Honor that had won all those awards and stuff. Like it does a really good job of like it starts off kind of the same. You're in the boat, and all of a sudden like all this crazy stuff is going on and people are getting shot up and then you kind of get to the beach and then you have to try to make your way towards the bunkers and stuff like that where they're shooting at you, so you're having to run from cover to cover slowly up the beach to try to make your way towards the bunkers and stuff like that, and it's really doing a good job, man, of kind of those same bits that they did really well in that original Medal of Honor game. So I'm enjoying it so far. I'm not really super far into it. I finished the first story beat basically. They have some good like narration and stuff, and where they're kind of explaining things, and it kind of is doing that whole, I think, that thing of where it's like little clippets of stories that people are telling from their experiences during that war kind of thing. So it's like I never played it before, and so like I was like, because honestly I didn't even realize that it had a campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've always, a lot of times I just play the multiplayer, and it's just been the recent years that I've been paying more attention to campaigns of first person shooter games like Call of Duty and stuff like that. So I thought this would be a perfect time to go back and play that, and I'm enjoying it a lot. So there's that, and then I for my backlog I ended up finishing Hitman, the first of the newer Hitman games. Yeah.
Season 1
I finished season 1. It's the first. It's just the Hitman 1, and then Hitman 2 is the second one, the second game that has its own chapters.
Oh, okay.
So it's like two books of the same of the same franchise, basically, like that. And that game is a lot of fun. It's super hard. Like I am not good at it, and I don't really think it expects you to be good at it, because like if I wanted to finish if you wanted to finish one chapter and actually get points by the end of it, it would probably take you like, I don't know, like until you can figure out what you're doing, maybe 2 to 3 hours just to beat one chapter. Because like as it is now, it took me like well over an hour to beat it without getting any points, because like I just would kill everyone until I wouldn't just knock them out. I would just take people out with my silenced pistol and just clear out an area so I could move towards the person I'm supposed to take out.
You didn't throw the guided briefcase?
Oh. No, I've seen that, but
it's really funny. I don't know if you watched that
video.
No, well, Giant Bomb does every Christmas they do a thing called Hitsmas, and they just play through. They pull out random objects out of a hat, and you have to kill this person on this level with this item, and one of them got the briefcase, and you just throw it, and you just throw the briefcase, and it's like a homing thing.
Yeah, so, it spins.
Yeah,
and it goes. Yeah, because I've seen that video of the guy riding around on the jet ski, and then he throws it at him, and the guy's driving all over the place on the jet ski, and then he finally stops the jet ski, and then it hits him and kills him.
It's really funny.
Yeah. I do want to dig deep, more, much deeper into the game and try to look into more of that kind of like those, because there's like 15 or 16 different ways that you can beat each level, or there's like specialty things that you can do in each level, and to get like points or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I just really like the system in that game, and that's why if we got a Perfect Dark game, I would so love to have a Perfect Dark game that kind of takes some of those systems into play, where you can have multiple options depending on what you overhear or what note you come across in the world,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, those games are fun. So I do plan on eventually going on to Hitman 2. But like I said, for right now, I wanna finish the World War II campaign, because I'm really enjoying that a lot. So, and then I think for the most part that's it for me. I mean, I've been playing some. I play Trials a lot. Trials Rising.
Oh, I think you were saying Trials of Osiris for Destiny. I was like, oh.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I play Trials Rising a lot. That's kind of my go-to game. Oh, and my friend Robert. Since at this social distancing stuff, I haven't really hung out, with any of my friends forever now. And so my friend Robert actually bought Uno for me on Xbox. So then we can, one of these days here this weekend, we're going to see if we can't play it for a little while and chat, because
I've been so on and off playing Uno. I'm like, do I get it? Do I not?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you get it, I can definitely play Uno with you sometime, because there is a fun mode where you can do where you're partners, so you sit across from each other, so you work together to try to be one of us just goes out and then we win. You don't have to both go out; you have just one of your partners has to go out and then you win. And you can play these against computer. You can play it against people online. You can play, it's fun. And they've got all kinds of really cool, the version of it that he bought for me. You get Rayman Legend cards. It's got its own version.
Nice.
It's got its own version of the game where certain cards do something different in the Rayman version of the game. Mm-hmm. And then there's some other game types as well, different decks and stuff that have their own version of the game as well. So, but yeah, I know there's a Rayman one that's pretty cool. So
nice.
Yeah, that's what I like is the digital versions of games like that. They can do more unique things that that like you might not be able to do it, and with physical cards. So,
Oh, nice.
but yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
All right. And boss, what have you been getting down to?
I've been playing some Animal Crossing. I don't know how. I think I got a little hyped on how people were approaching it on social media.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm having fun with it. I don't know if I love it. I like it, but I don't know if I love it, and I feel like I had to keep going back, or Tom Nook's gonna yell at me someday. And so I have been playing that. I built a house. I built the store. Well, I'm still looking for iron, so I'm still looking for that, and to build the store. So that's kind of the quest I'm on now. I gotta sell my eggs because I don't really care about any of the Easter stuff. And I would like to have some money. So I've been playing that. I've been playing The Witcher 3 on Switch. Nothing really new to report there. It's just still, I get distracted by a lot of question marks and exclamation points and stuff like that. So I've been playing that. And then I played a little bit of Link's Awakening the other day. And I'm entering the third dungeon there, and I put it on the TV because the first time I got it, I streamed a little bit of it, and then I started playing it in handheld mode, and then when I put it back on my TV, I just forgot how amazing that game looked. It looks so incredible, and I just really want Nintendo to remake all the 2D Zelda games like that. And Ed, we were talking about a Zelda 2 remake.
Yes,
we would like to see that eventually. And it's not really this style, but a style that's similar to this. And yeah, man, it's I'd
like to see all those original games made more into a Wind Waker style game.
Yeah,
just because I just never could get into those top down games, no matter what they were.
Yeah,
because I have always loved Zelda and Link as a character, since the beginning of its existence, or my existence, I should say. But I just never could get into that top down stuff,
Yeah.
But not saying that it's a bad game, but it's just I would just like to be able to experience those games in a way that I would enjoy,
Yeah, and I think that's a really interesting way to approach how these remakes are happening. We've gotten such an amazing slew of remakes recently with both the Resident Evil games and Link's Awakening, and Final Fantasy VII by all accounts is an amazing version of that game. And yeah, my kid's up. Yeah, so it's kind of I think there's a strong case for remakes now. I mean, even the Shadow of the Colossus remake was really, really awesome. So, yeah, I would like to see a lot of interesting things. There's games you could do interesting things with. Ed, you and I were talking about if they were to remake Super Metroid or redo some of the 2D Metroids in the vein of what Link's Awakening is doing last night. And I think that's another series that I would like to see approach that.
Yes, Aaron. Would you go say something, Jesse?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I just wish that they would bring the 3DS Metroid game to Switch.
We talked about that.
Honestly,
yeah,
we talked about that, and we think they will.
Yeah, I hope they do, because honestly, I wanted to play that, but I didn't want to buy a 3DS for the third time just to, a couple months later sell it for money. Like I did the first two times.
Wow.
I got it the first time, and then I forget what I got. A couple of games, I played them, and then I sold it, and then I bought another one. I got the Ocarina of Time. I beat that, and then I sold it in the console to get a Switch.
The cycle. Just a cycle. But everybody, that's what we begin down with. in fact, that is going to actually be the show. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for checking out. Hopefully, you guys will join us for the book club. For May, we started out with Control. To let everybody know that we will start that game on May 1st, which is a Thursday. And that following Monday, we would love to see you guys post where you're at, what you think about it, your thoughts on it. There is no rush or anything. You got a whole full month. We're going to be playing it. We're going to be talking about it on the show. We're also going to be leaving our thoughts and impressions on it on our Facebook or Twitter or Discord, so you guys will be able to check it there. We would love for the community to really get involved. Go into it with an open mind. And then we got a great game getting you guys for June. Great game hitting you guys for July. So get ready. It's going to be a great time during the book club challenge. Not book club challenge. The Boss Rush Games book club, or BRG book club, which is to go short. But Jesse, where can we find you?
You can find me just about everywhere as Phantom NXS.
Corey, where can we find you?
You can find me at I am Corey in HD on Twitter and Instagram, and Corey in HD on Mixer.
Yes, you guys can find me on Twitter at that Retro Code. You can check me out on SoundCloud with Optional Opinion, my podcast. Got 2 great episodes coming, and you guys, you're not going to be ready for them. And also, I'm playing Grand Theft Auto 3 as a retrospective, so I really cannot wait to get done with that game, because I'm going to be talking about it on Optional Opinion. I literally was talking to myself, Jesse, at Target, and Grand Theft Auto 3 was just like, it's time for you to replay that game and talk about it, and like, this. So I will be doing that. You guys can find me on Twitch at Okamiko, and you can find me on Mixer at the Lyrical One. I think I'm gonna try to be streaming some games in the future, and maybe it'll be cool. Maybe for a book club for a night, one of us stream Control and talk to the community or talk to each other and kind of talk there and have a little mini discussion or anything like that. So everybody, have a great week. Have a great weekend. Everybody, hopefully you are safe. I know to stay at home is probably it's probably something to think about and be like, oh, I need to get out. But we got great games to and other things to keep us busy at this time. So as always, we want everybody to continue to play video games and be better to one another. And with that, everybody, we will see you next time on Boss Rush Podcast. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.